Hello, and welcome to Expect More, Earn More, Helping Opportunity Youth Complete High School and College. My name is Ariana Martin, and I will be your moderator for this session. Just a few housekeeping rules before we start. Remember, if you have a question, please type it in the Q&A box, and we will get to as many as possible at the end of this session. At the end of the session, you'll be redirected to the session survey. Please complete the session survey. Your answers will help with planning for next year's conference. Please help me welcome Kevin Teasley. Kevin Teasley is the founder and president of the Indianapolis-based Greater Education Opportunities Foundation. Teasley founded the GEO Foundation in 1998 to support families wanting better schools for their children. In 2001, Teasley helped to launch one of Indiana's first charter schools. Over the past 20 years, GEO has started multiple schools and today serves more than 3,600 students in 3 cities and 2 states, Indiana and Louisiana. GEO schools are known for their Early College Unlimited program, which helps graduate students with full associate degrees, career certifications, and even a bachelor's degree at no cost to the student or their families. Teasley received his bachelor's degree from Indiana University in 1985 in journalism and political science.
Good morning. Thanks for having us this morning. It's a great opportunity to share what we've learned in Indiana and in Louisiana. And I've got 3 of my colleagues with me, Chriselle Murphy, Teresa Kennedy, and Wendy Savinsky, to help share the story. To set this up, I thought I would share, the genesis of what we're doing today and what we hope to accomplish. When we started our first charter school in Gary, Indiana, back in 2005, the city had a 50% dropout rate. And we were invited by city leaders to start a school there to kind of help stem the tide, let's say, in dropouts. And, when we started our school in 2005, we did what I would consider most other college prep schools did. We did the college tours, we did the college scholarship night, college application night. We gave the kids the talk about how much you can make if you get a high school diploma or get an associate degree and a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and how it keeps going up. The more degrees you get, more education you get, the more you get paid. But at the end of the day, if we're being really honest about the effort, the results weren't that good. And so we really had to think through what we were doing and how we were doing it. And while we were doing that, we had a student, his name is Vincent Pena. In 2010, I believe, he was going to be a junior in high school. And he literally came up and said, "Look, Mr. Teasley, I'm going to drop out." And, that was startling. Because that's the antithesis of why we started our school. And we were at the time studying this thing called early college. It was a big deal back then. And so we decided to turn on a dime to help save this one kid, Vincent Pena, from dropping out. And I basically said to Vincent, "Look, I think you're pretty smart. I think you can do college. And why are you thinking about dropping out?" He said, "Well, nobody in my family went to college, and I'm not going to college, and my family needs me to help with the bills." So I turned around and said, "Look, I think you can do college, and I'm going to prove it to you. You're going to prove it to yourself. Let's go over to Ivy Tech, and let's take the entrance exam. And if you pass any part of it, we'll start paying for you to start taking college courses." And he went over and he took the test and he passed all 3 parts of the test. Much to his surprise, not so much to our surprise, because we knew he was a smart kid and he had the opportunity to be successful. Well, he chose to stay in our high school, and not only did he graduate on time, he graduated with a full associate degree. It was completely paid for by us, earned by him. We paid for all the tuition, all the textbooks. And then our staff at 21st Century Charter School in Gary provided a lot of the staff support, whether it was the social emotional wraparound services or the academic supports that were necessary. Well, what happened with Vincent, we made it a big deal that it turns out he was one of the first students in Northwest Indiana to actually get a full associate degree while in high school. And so that the media made a big deal out of it. Our school made a big deal out of it. And what we learned from this experience is, the students in our school saw that Vincent, who was a friend of theirs, and they knew who he was, what he did. He earned a full 2 years of college. And so now they know somebody who has actually gone off to college and been successful. And ever since that time, we've had more and more students in Gary earning full associate degrees. And in fact, as Ariana mentioned in the introduction, we had one student, and I believe it's the only student in the state of Indiana's history, to actually go and earn a full bachelor's degree from Purdue Northwest while in our high school. She enrolled in our school specifically because of the opportunities that college offered her. She had earned her full associate degree by the time she was done with her sophomore year. And after that, that's when I met her. She came up to me and said, "Mr. Teasley, I've got a problem." I said, "What's that?" She said, "Well, I've earned my associate degree." And I said, "Well, that's not a problem. You can graduate early and go off to a four-year university." And she said, "That's my problem. I'm only 16. I do have my associate degree, but I don't want to go off to a four-year university. Can I stay in your high school and take more college courses?" And of course, like I said, we were studying the early college model, and the early college model, the associate degree is kind of like the pinnacle. So I really wasn't sure that it was even legal to allow our students to keep going after an associate degree. So I had to call the Department of Education here in Indiana to see if that was something we could do. And, they scratched their heads too, because I don't think they've ever been asked that question. This is a high school kid asking if they can earn a full bachelor's degree in high school. And so 2 weeks later, the Department of Education officials got back to me and said they don't see any reason why not. So I called Raven, that's the young lady's name, Raven Osborne. Said, "You're on, where do you want to go?" Well, she wanted to go to Purdue Northwest. So she went to Purdue Northwest, and 2 years later, while in our high school, she earned a full bachelor's degree, completely paid for by us, but completely earned by her. And so what I've shared with you right now is two students, Vincent, who earned a full associate degree, another student who earned a full bachelor's degree. We have students that take all 4 years of high school to get an associate degree. We have students that earn a full associate degree in 2 years' time. We have students that earn a full associate degree in 1 year's time. Ivy Tech has an ASAP program where you can actually earn a full associate degree in 1 year's time, and we've had students do that. So we're excited to share with you this morning just a little bit about our school. And I will tell you, the lady that's really responsible for the college and career success at 21st Century Charter School is with us this morning, and that's Chriselle Murphy. So Chriselle, if you could turn your camera on and share with us a little of your experience with the students and your success at the school, that would be great.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chriselle Murphy. I am now the principal of the College and Career Center that we are proud to say will open this fall. And I was formerly the guidance counselor and the director of the College and Career Program at the high school. I just wanted to share with you guys a few quotes because I'm pretty sure one of the biggest questions is, how do we do this within such a special population that, according to Kevin, and the statistics show this specific group of students and the demographics does not guarantee or show or reflect that they should be as successful as they are. So we call this group beating the odds. And so we want to answer how and why. So I want to share with you the why we do it. And this comes from a couple of quotes and research to support this data. For low-income young people, a college credential is the best insurance policy for securing a future with middle-class advantages. Without a recognized set of post-secondary skills and knowledge, low-income job seekers are shut out of the highly competitive global economy at great cost to themselves, their communities, and their states. The demand is clear. We must design ways to graduate substantially more low-income young people from high school and ensure that they are truly ready for college and career success. Low-income students who disproportionately need remedial classes often get slowed down by placement into the developmental courses. And last, one critical strategy for doing so is to ensure more of these young people experience success in college coursework before leaving high school. So I just shared with you about 3 or 4 quotes as to the why we have the program and the mission and the vision at the GEO school that we work at. The statistics show that our students who are from low-income families are not set or are not predicted to be successful. However, the program is based on the idea that we believe all students have the capacity, regardless of socioeconomic status or environment, to be successful in college and career ready. To be successful in college or in a career. What we found is that the program thrives on the idea that by removing barriers such as the costs, the idea of just knowing the college going process, we believe that if we remove those barriers, students are more likely to be successful. And so GEO did a great job of doing that. Our program covers all costs for going to college and into a career because we support college and career. And so they cover tuition at 100%, books and supplies. We transport the students in our school vans and our school buses. And then we also have a support staff that advises, that mentors, that counsels, that just helps students with the whole process of going into college. And we found students have responded positively to these supports and to our supports of the removing of the barriers. And that is the key. When we have students who have the ability, there are things unrelated to education that prevent them from persisting. And we notice that. And so we've surrounded our students with those supports to allow them to just focus on the academics. And that is one of the reasons why, since we've been a college program, we've had multiple associate degrees, we've had a bachelor's degree. We have a bachelor's degree student who will earn her bachelor's degree in this next semester. She just graduated as a senior. Her name is Erin Lewis. And we have students who also have been earning multiple college credit and career certifications. And so I can't say that the job has not been easy, but every year we look at the program, we evaluate it and we assess it. And we just look at the different ways on how to improve it, because there are different groups of students that come to us. But there's one thing that remains true about each student in our population, and that is the peer-to-peer influence. If they witness and see in real life one of their peers doing it, they're motivated and they can actually believe in themselves. So we start with the belief. If we believe, that's just the start, but we now have to transfer what we believe to how they feel about themselves. And so the psychology of it is that by getting them to understand and convincing them that they can actually do it is how students who would not normally go on their own, we would basically inject that into their being. And then now they actually believe that they can do it. And we found that students are actually producing. Again, I'm one of many on the team, and I cannot ever take the credit because I have other people who believe on my team, and it's a special group of people. If you look at it face value, you would say, hey, these students are coming from this specific population. The statistics show there's a 50% dropout rate in the community. These students are not going to be college ready and career ready. However, if you look beyond the face value and you look a little bit deeper, looking at the potential of every student, you will notice that there is something unique and special. And then you will see that these students actually have college going skills that need to just be developed and they need to be, just massaged by a few of us who've actually gone through the college going process to help them and their parents understand how it works and how it looks and how they can overcome those barriers and how it looks. Because essentially what we want is to produce a group of students that not only are getting college credits and industry certifications while in high school, but they're coming to give back to their community, which is more powerful than that student actually earning that credit. So we're actually trying to have it so that students are not just thinking about themselves, but they're thinking about the future. And that is important because our communities are in need. So it basically starts off in our high school with the belief and us putting in front of students the opportunity, giving those students a chance, believing in them, which is not a common thread in our communities. And then those students take that, they feed off of our energy, they feed off of our motivation because they genuinely know those who care about them. They genuinely know who's with them and who's for them. And if they feel that you are, they will give you their all because they want to, one, not let you down, but not let themselves down. And then them alone, they know that they can come back and give to their community and make a huge difference. And that is our job at 21st. And so we've done it for many years. We've had over 90% graduation rates at 21st Century Charter High School over the past 5 years. We've had over 80% college and career ratings within the state. And we are the top college and career readiness program in Northwest Indiana. And so we do it because the students believe, we believe, and our staff believes. And so it's important that all students know that, and that you just surround them with the opportunity, one, and that you surround them with those resources.
Thank you, Chriselle. So hopefully the audience can, let's see, start my video. Hold on a second here again. There we go. Sorry about that. Hopefully the audience can see the passion that Chriselle has and see it's what our whole school has for our students to succeed. The next guest that I have for you to hear from is a very special lady, Miss Teresa Kennedy. She does work for 21st Century. She's been with us for quite some time. I'll just leave it at that. And she's had 3 students go through our program. And I thought it would be great to get a parent perspective on our program. So Teresa, could you share?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. It is an honor and a pleasure of mine to be invited to participate in this panel. I am currently the director. I am the newly Director of College and Career Readiness here at 21st Century Charter School. But this is not just the position I was hired into. This is a position that has been a long time coming. I have been on the front lines of this college immersion experience since 2009, 2010, when I was looking for a school to enroll my children in, my 3 children. And we stumbled upon 21st Century. They had all the opportunities that we were looking for. I was so excited to hear about the college program that they offered their students here. So I brought my students here. And like I said, I've been on the front lines watching and helping out. I started off as a parent, enrolling my students. I enrolled my daughter, Naisha, when she was a freshman. We heard about the program. The program went from, in 2010, 2011, Naisha was able to take college courses, but by her being under the age of 16, she was not able to go on a college campus. And the parent that I am, I wanted to know why. And no one could give me an answer. So at the time we had a principal that was very open-minded. She says, well, if you wanted to go to the classes, enroll her in them. She allowed me to enroll her in the class. I took her to the campus. She was 14. I took her to the campus. I sat outside in the parking lot while she went to classes, her and a couple of her other little classmates. They went to class, I picked them up, came back, and the rest is history. They were all three ladies that went to campus with her that day. They all finished with an associate's degree. But backing up a little, so yeah, I became the bus driver. I started off as a parent. I then became the bus driver, taking the students back and forth to the Ivy Tech campus. I became many of the students' mentors, enrolling them in classes, purchasing books for the students, and just being a mentor, sitting out in the bus, waiting for them to get out of class. And I decided, hey, well, I'm sitting out here in the bus, I might as well take classes myself. So I was able to go on and earn my associate's degree from Ivy Tech as well. That's the opportunities and the trickle down effect this program has had on our community. It has benefits for our parents, for our students, for our school, for our community, even for our city. This program has many benefits for us, benefits and opportunities for everyone. So let's see, Naisha went on to graduate. I watched Vincent graduate. I was there helping him mentor Naisha and a whole other slew of students, Raven Osborne. I was there watching these students, helping these students, rooting new students on to just to finish, just to earn their degree or whatever plans they had. And the school was very open to whatever we asked for. They were there. We needed better computers. They were there to give us those better computers. And we've learned through the whole process. As a parent, I knew as a parent what we expected, what we needed. So I was able to carry that on in my career as well. So I went on from a bus driver, then I became a student support specialist for the students. Then I became assistant director, and now here I am, director of the program. So I have a lot of experience on both sides of the fence. So
Teresa, you want to tell about Denisha and
oh yeah, so I do have two other students. I have my other daughter, Denisha. She graduated in 2017 from 21st Century. She also earned her associate's degree as a student here at 21st Century. And then she went on to earn her bachelor's degree in social work. And now she's in her master's degree program in social work. And she just made 21, I want to say. She graduates next year with her master's degree. Naisha, she also is employed here now at 21st. Naisha, she went on to earn her bachelor's degree. From Ball State. She earned her master's degree in education, and now she's working on her second master's degree in education, and she's actually a geometry teacher here at 21st Century. And then my youngest child, he earned his associate's degree as well. He went into IU Bloom as a junior, and he's expected to graduate at the end of this year. So we've taken full advantage of the program. I am a living witness that the program works. The benefits and the opportunities that it affords our students are excellent. Another thing I wanted to talk about the students is that once they leave the high school, this program, yes, it allows them to take classes. It allows them to earn degrees, but it also gives them something else. When Naisha went away to college for the first time, she's a 16-year-old, first time stepping foot on a college campus outside of her home. She was ready. She did not have the challenges that other freshmen have. She did not have the challenges nor the anxiety that's usually associated with college freshmen because of the opportunities that she had in this college immersion program. She didn't have the struggles with the time management. She was able to advocate for herself. She knew how to interact with the professors. She was acclimated with the academic challenges that college had for her. So she was ready because of the experience that she had in this college program while in high school. While in high school, she was able to take the college courses with us, supporting us, with us holding her hand. So when she actually went off to the college campus, she didn't need that. She already knew how to navigate the system.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm going to move on to Wendy, our next speaker. Teresa speaks eloquently about the power of this program, not only for her kids, but for herself and the community as a whole. And when I started sharing at the beginning of this presentation, I shared that we started studying this thing called early college in late 2008, 9, 10, that time period. Well, as it turns out, one of the best, and frankly, in my opinion, the best early college high school in the state of Indiana is Ben Davis University High School right here in Indianapolis. And it was started and implemented by Miss Wendy Savinsky, former assistant superintendent of Wayne Township, who's been a longtime friend of ours, and she has recently joined GEO as our chief academic officer. And who better to talk about how we can take this thing statewide? I saw some questions and answers. There are questions in the Q&A piece. You know, can we take this? Is this scalable? Where do we go from here, Wendy?
Yeah. So where do we go? So the idea is, and exactly like Chriselle said, the goal is to introduce our students at a very young age. So once we get them on the road, students can begin to see how they can fulfill that trajectory. So one of the most important things, and one of the most important things that I've learned that GEO has done, is it's about embracing and tearing down all of the obstacles and barriers that tend to get in the way for our students. So we know that when we transition students from high school into college, there's a whole nother level of education that's required. Students have to understand the difference in how to manage their time between classes. Where do I go to study? They have to talk about how do they use study time? What are office hours? Sometimes students don't know things such as office hours and the fact that those are opportunities. What is it like to work with a TA? So it's very important, and that's why we have found such success in the scalable model of having the high schools actually teach the students how to engage. So really kind of bridge those overs. So the way that we can start transitioning that, and the great thing is we have the Commission of Higher Education that has identified the core transfer library. So when we think about college credits, we want to make sure that those credits are going to transfer for our students. So thank you to Teresa Lubbers and her team for developing that Common Core transfer library so that we can begin embracing and utilizing that model at a reduced rate, of course. We also greatly applaud the commission on coming up with the Indiana, those 30 block hours of college credits that students can get. So students can then take those credits and move on. Our goal as educators in secondary education, be it 9 through 12 and much earlier, is to begin talking to students about their post-secondary planning. Our goal is to immerse them into the college network and to give them the success, the tools, and the supports necessary for them to navigate this new environment. We know through data, we know through research, we know from GEO success stories that high school students can do college. They can perform in college, and at very young ages, they are ready for the materials. So when we think about students, it's all about raising that high tide. So high tide lifts all boats. So providing students the opportunity, removing the barriers, we can continue to move the needle here in the state of Indiana. So I'm proud to be a part of the GEO network. I'm proud to be here with my colleagues today to listen, and I'm excited to answer any questions that any of you may have this afternoon.
Well, okay, we are open for Q&A. I want to thank Teresa and Chriselle and Wendy for their presentations. It's a joy to work with all three of you, helping families earn college dreams and realize their college dreams. So thank you, the three of you. Ariana?
Thank you. So we do have some questions here. One of the first questions that we have is the 21st century charter model scalable to all Indiana public schools, or are there unique advantages that come with the charter model that other public schools don't have?
I'll take a first swing at answering that. And Wendy, if you want to chime in, or anybody else for that matter. I think it is scalable, but it is a complicated process. I do believe all high schools in the state of Indiana could do this, but if they were to do it, it will require a great deal of, let's say, changes at their own school, in the sense that if you go to 21st century charter school, you will see a very different high school than you might see in Carmel or Noblesville or the traditional high school frankly, in the state of Indiana and across the country tends to be a bit of a destination. And we tend to believe call ourselves a launching pad. So in other words, you don't go to 21st Century to take every class that you might want to take in high school. We want you to take most of those classes at the college level. And so we look at ourselves as it's our responsibility to get our students to pass the entrance exam to Ivy Tech. And once they pass that entrance exam to Ivy Tech, which has been a fantastic partner, by the way, then the world really opens up for them. Not just at Ivy Tech, but IU and Purdue and even Marian University here in Indianapolis is a partner. IUPUI is a partner. So we, at the college, there are so many, college level, there are so many different opportunities. We're a pretty small school. The high school itself has roughly 400 students. So if anybody knows anything about running a high school, if you want to have all of these electives or enrichment opportunities, whether it's auto mechanics or welding or Latin or all the foreign languages that you might want and all the arts that you might want and all the music that you might want, that can be very expensive. But it becomes available to our students if we treat each of our students as an individual and try to meet their specific needs. For instance, we had at one point in the last 16 years, one of our leaders wanted to hire a Mandarin teacher. That's all well and good, but how many students wanted to take Mandarin? I think we had 3 or 4. Well, we're paying a teacher full-time salary to teach Mandarin to 3 or 4 students. That doesn't make any financial sense. But if we get the student, if the student's able to take Mandarin, then they're probably able to pass the college entrance exam at Ivy Tech. And if they're able to do that, then we can take those 4 students and get them Mandarin, while maybe 25 of our students want to get Spanish and another 25 of our students want to take French. So it's a better use of public dollars when we do what I would call a buffet. If you want to say a buffet, students can pick and choose what they want, and we pay for exactly what they want. And we're more nimble because you know what? The next year, after 4 students took Mandarin, well, they didn't want to take it anymore. Well, what am I going to do? In a traditional sense, I've got a teacher, and it's not really fair to that teacher, just fire them because we don't need them anymore. And now I got a responsibility, but not only the responsibility of the staff, but you have a responsibility to have a classroom. So think about facility space, think about staffing space. All of that kind of goes away. Now that doesn't mean we don't have other headaches, because I call it a beautiful chaos, a beautiful mess, you might say, in the sense that Chriselle is kind of your air traffic controller. She's got 400 students that she needs to meet every single student's individual needs. And she does have students taking welding. We don't have one welding tool, but the kids who want welding, they're over at the Career Center. We have kids taking culinary arts. We don't have a kitchen, but the kids that want culinary arts, they're at the Career Center. And it goes on and on and on. Kids who want Spanish, some are at IU Northwest, some are at Purdue. Kids who want French, it goes back and forth. But so we save on facility and we save on staff, and we're using public dollars. These are not private dollars, these are public dollars to the best use and to the most benefit to the students.
Thank you. We have a question here from Ida Beth Malloy. The question is, what types of careers are students pursuing? And then also, do you have any data to share that shows the community impact that this program has? So for example, is it impacting the dropout rate in the community, and then the number of students who underperform in the community?
Chriselle, you want to talk about the careers they're pursuing?
Yeah, so we have students that pursue different careers. Health sciences is one, so those are the CNAs. We have students in the cosmetology area and the culinary, auto mechanics, welding, construction trades. And this year new, we have a student who is in aviation, and we're also proud to announce she earned her pilot's license. So does it impact the community? I would say it will impact the community. And it does. The students who are in these programs, they impact their peers, which hopefully the other students will see, and then they'll be influenced and catch fire to want to do something different, and then come back to those positions in the community to help others. The data that we have is so new, and the students that we've seen has grown, that we haven't really seen data that supports positive impacts just yet. However, indirectly speaking, there are more and more students that are persisting and earning industry certifications and earning post-secondary degrees, that we've seen the impact in that area. And hopefully in the future, we will see them in the job market and coming back. Now, we do have students who have entered into the job market at smaller numbers, but because of the program, we are anticipating greater numbers in the future in those high demand jobs in the state of Indiana and in their community.
I would add that we do have several of our alums who have come back to be teachers at 21st Century. Raven Osborne, who got her bachelor's degree, she's been teaching with us ever since she graduated from Purdue Northwest. And Naisha Kennedy, Teresa's daughter, has been teaching with us. She was voted Teacher of the Year 2 years ago by her peers. Her younger sister, Naisha, has come back to be a social worker with our school. We've got a lot of students who have gone off to get their 4-year degree. And frankly, Naisha and Denisha both got their master's degrees, by the way, and Teresa Kennedy as well got her master's degree. So congratulations on that. And so I would say that I would like to share that at the very beginning of this process, back in 2005 through 2010, when we started talking about, why we set up the school, we want kids to graduate from high school, we want kids to go off to college. I will say, to be honest, we had a lot of pushback from families. Stop talking to my kid about going to college. He ain't college material. He's not going. And I have to completely disagree with. That's what parents were sharing with me directly. I think it was more of it wasn't that they didn't believe in their kid. It was that they were fearful that they were going to lose their kid and, become empty nesters, and they need their kid to be in their family, to help with the bills, et cetera, et cetera. But now I will tell you, in 2021, when we go to graduations, I have families come to me and say, I'm enrolling my kid as a kindergarten student right now because I know when they get to high school, they're going to start taking those college courses and they're going to graduate not just from high school, but with a college degree. So families are starting to choose 21C in particular. And I will tell you that 21C's enrollment has ballooned. It went from 300 students in 2005 to right now it's about 1,300 students. And we keep having to buy another piece of property. In fact, 2 years ago, we actually wound up buying what used to be the Ivy Tech Community College property in Gary, Indiana, because we had so much demand for what we're doing. So while that's not a survey and that's not research, it is anecdotal. We do have a lot of students and a lot of families choosing 21st Century. And when they choose 21st Century, we ask them why. And inevitably, it's because of the college opportunities that we're providing.
I think one of the other things that, Kevin, you could add to that is when we looked at our community and our families, it is about a 17 or 18% of our families in the Gary, Indiana region have a college diploma. So I think that Kevin really speaks to looking at what was the need of the community and that being the educational model. So when we look at how do our parents, many of our parents have not navigated this system. So it absolutely makes sense for us to do that. I would also add, when we talk about the impact of school community, is we've had very robust summer school programs this morning. So we know we're coming, our this summer. We're coming out of the pandemic. And so we've had robust school programming, and many of our students have come back to provide tutoring. They're helping to provide those bridge programs. So the very students that you see moving and navigating through the halls or attending college classes, they are coming back and giving and helping with that transition, which is really key when you think about making the changes in the community.
And one last thing, I don't want to prolong it, but now the conversations have changed with parents in prior to this program doing so well. You didn't hear, as Kevin and Wendy has said, college going. Now, when you speak to parents, they will say, well, I'm back in school as well with my student. And so as you can see that not only is it motivating the student, it's motivating parents to return back to earn their degrees as well.
We have a question from Deanna Latimer Hearn. In what ways are the Geo Academies building upon the rich linguistic diversity that students bring to school? So for example, dialects such as African American English or other languages such as Spanish.
Chriselle, do you want to take that or?
Well, we recognize that diversity exists amongst our students. And so we continue to offer classes that would allow students to build in that area. We also recognize the diversity as well. And so we highlight those differences, and we want students to understand that we accept those students that are linguistically different. And again, we provide opportunities for students to immerse more into and embrace their culture, and also to learn more about linguistics within their culture. And other students who are interested in pursuing linguistics, we also allow them the opportunity on the college campus to pursue their studies in that area as well.
And I think that's such a key piece and such a key question. And I think Kevin alluded to it. And Chriselle, I appreciate you wrapping it up. The fact that the college immersion model is present, that's where the students can actually take those classes. So they can nurture that native tongue. They can become rich in the classical literature that perhaps they wouldn't have. And so by immersing them into the college environment, they have many more opportunities to take those classes, to take them at their readiness levels, but also to continue to expand that learning throughout their journey.
We have a question here from Denise Bates. Chriselle mentioned that 21st Century offers 100% tuition, books, and transportation to pursue higher education so that students can focus on the academics. How is this funded?
I'll take a stab at that. We use the state dollars that we get per student that every other traditional public school gets in the state of Indiana. We look at the dollars that the state provides, and it's roughly $7,000 to $8,000 per kid as belonging to the student. And we try to help the student get as much education out of that $8,000 as possible. And so, that's how we're able to do it. It's the student's money. And, if they want to earn more than a high school diploma, they are more than capable of doing that with those dollars. We, as I shared earlier, show a lot of great deal of discipline, let's say, in our budgeting, because like I said, when you go to 21st Century, you won't see a destination high school. You will see a launching pad. It's not a giant campus with every single opportunity on the campus. But IU and Purdue and Ivy Tech are literally right down the street, and the Career Center's right across the street. So there's no reason for us to replicate those expenses and those opportunities that are already in existence. And so we take advantage of those opportunities.
We have another question here from Deborah Daniels. Can high schools implement smaller scales of this program if they already have the kind of the infrastructure that nearly matches what the Geo Academies offers?
Hi, Deb. I think I know who you are. It's good to see you in the audience. But Wendy, do you want to take that question?
And I would love to take that question. So the answer, Deb, is absolutely. So really, when you think about the structure, we have to begin thinking about where is the natural partner. So our 21C schools and next gen schools that Kevin's been talking about are very fortunate because we have college campuses right on the block. So sending students there, so creating that articulation agreement, looking at an MOU, and then figuring out how can we start immersing our students. So obviously the goal is they're graduating from high school, but also concurrently graduating from high school or college. And many of you know that our scholars actually will graduate college before high school because of the way that their school year works. So it's very doable to think about what my concurrent classes look like. So where might a student take an English 101 class on a college campus, and what might be that compatible class at the high school level? So that is something that the GEO Foundation is very skilled at. And I'm sure we would be happy to help you support that, Deb. But there is a way to do that. Communication and the partnership is key.
What I'd like to share is there isn't one fixed way to do what we're doing. Wendy, as I shared earlier, came to us from Wayne Township, but she helped create Ben Davis University High School. Ben Davis University High School is doing wonderful things, and it's probably the greatest kept secret here in Indianapolis. But Wendy's approach, or Ben Davis University High School's approach, is very different than what we're doing at GEO in 21st Century and GEO Next Gen Indianapolis. And the biggest difference is most of the college courses, as I recall, that are taken at Ben Davis University High School are taught by adjunct professors on the campus at Ben Davis University High School. Our model is a little different in that we take our students on the college campus itself. So you heard earlier that Teresa Kennedy's daughter, Naisha, was 16 when she earned her full associate degree. She went off to Ball State at the age of 16 and enrolled as a junior in college. And I remember our current superintendent, Katie Jenner from here in Indiana, came to visit our school before she was state superintendent. And she asked Naisha, did she feel like she was too young? Did she feel like she was out of place at Ball State when she went there and was enrolled as a junior? And Naisha just flat out responded immediately, no, I felt like I was ahead of the game. I felt like I knew what was going on. I knew how to schedule my classes. I knew what a bursar's office was. I knew where the bookstore was. I knew more than the traditional freshman that came in. So what I'm sharing is what we're doing is very intentional. To me, it's not good enough to have a student take a college level course on a high school campus. Sorry. I think 50% of the value of what we're doing is actually putting the student on a college campus, sitting in a classroom that is not filled with high school students, not filled with their peers, but it is filled with students who are various ages, various demographics, various areas of the city. And that's the real college experience. And students actually really learn a lot about themselves. And when we go to graduation, I've flat out asked our students, so what was your favorite subject at college? And what did you learn most? You know, I'm expecting them to say, you know, whether it was Shakespeare or, you know, a drama class or something, a music class. Inevitably, every single student that goes through graduation and answers that question that I ask, they say, Mr. Teasley, what I learned most is time management, self-discipline, how to work with others, and then how it really is in a college class. And now I believe I can go off to college and be more successful. So it's one of the crazy things that I think our system, our society does. We know we have a lot of families that don't have any college experience. And yet we expect students to graduate from those same families from high school and go off to college and be successful. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a parent. And when I was teaching my daughter how to swim, I didn't take her and throw her in the deep end of the pool and say, swim. No, we went into the shallow end and I held her. And then when she started paddling and then she started kicking her legs and she got to be a stronger swimmer, she got to go deeper into the pool. But think about that analogy and apply it to high school. We just ask kids to graduate and then we throw them in the deep end of the pool called college and expect them, in many cases, first time away from home, to be successful. Where's their safety net? we are their safety net. And so I really am a big advocate for more college in high school, for colleges to partner with high schools statewide, not just us, but statewide, because I think if we can work together, we're going to get more students to complete college after they're finishing high school.
And to add to that too, we use a holistic approach, right? You would think we will focus on the academic area first. However, we look at the need of the student, and it may not necessarily be the academics, right? They have that intellect, we already know that, but it might be something else that student is deficient. And so we hone in on that and we build that up in order, again, for them to be able to focus. We can't ask a student to go off and earn college credit if they're hungry. We can't ask them to earn college credit or do anything for us if they're worried about home or their little brother or their little sister. So we have to be very mindful and very cognizant of the need of the student, genuinely concerned, and we are, in order to make sure that we meet that need in order for them to produce what we know will ultimately help them in the long run, and that is to earn a degree or industry certification. And the students appreciate that. And again, they produce because they have that basic need met that they initially needed in the first place. Again, academics, of course, we know is the focus, but we need to look at the whole student. What is the need of that individual student as a person?
And sometimes that need is, you can do this, and I'm going to help you do this. And sometimes it's the courage to say those things and to pull out that strength and say, no, you can do college and you will do college. And I am here and we are here to support you when you need additional support. So great point, Chriselle.
We have a question from Terrell Couch. Could you speak more about the relationship you have developed with the higher education institutions, specifically at the student price point as it relates to your program?
You know, a lot of people ask, what is the MOU between 21st Century and Ivy Tech or IU Northwest or Purdue? The MOU is really the tuition. We don't negotiate any lower rates, and that's intentional. So it's about $150 a credit hour, I believe, at Ivy Tech, and about $330 a credit hour at IU and Purdue, and at IUPUI. So we pay full freight, full tuition. We pay for all of the textbooks. And, you know, we think that's a good value, number one, because we're able to get, like last year, we spent over $300,000 at 21st Century Charter School on real college courses for our students. That translates into about 1,000 college credits earned by our students. That also translates into students in our senior year of 2021 graduating. I think we had 58 students who graduated, and on average, they had earned 19 to 20 college credits each. Those are real college credits that they had a real college transcript that they could take off to IU or Purdue or wherever they chose to go after that. We had a student who is enrolling was accepted at Howard University. Maybe some of you know HBCU, Howard University, the school that our vice president went to. And Ariana Mays is going to be entering as a junior. She earned a full associate degree in 1 year's time, along with her friend, Brianna Moore, in 1 year's time during the pandemic. There's a whole nother piece that we haven't even talked about. During the pandemic, a lot of schools shut down and a lot of kids, you know, they stayed home, and some did more than others. Well, I tell you what, our students had the opportunity to do a lot more because they weren't just restricted to what we were offering at our high school. They were empowered to take courses at the college level. And Ariana and Brianna in particular, I asked them, how did you do it? And why did you do it? And they said, well, Mr. Teasley, we were just sitting home. We had nothing else to do. And so they actually earned a full associate degree in 1 year's time. That was the ASAP program that Ivy Tech offers. It's a really beautiful opportunity.
We have a question here from Bill Wilkerson. Does 21st Century track students into the honors or college credit versus non-honors pathways, or is college readiness or earning college credits the expectation for all students?
I want to be careful here. Number one, I support AP and IB and honors classes and that sort of thing, but we really preference actual college courses. If you look at the statistics on AP tests and IB tests, when it comes to the Black population in particular, you're looking at 3-4% passing an AP test. But hey, we have kids passing the entrance exam, getting to Ivy Tech and getting A's and B's. So that works for them. And that's what we ought to support. So whatever works is what we're going to support. But we are ecumenical. But I think in this case, we're getting more than grades, we're getting experience.
And I would even add to that, Kevin. So when we look historically, so outside, when you look at who's enrolled in the AP and IB classes, we're not seeing the high relevance of the BIPOC population. So the very population that Geo Foundations and 21C is serving is very intentional. And that is where the dual credit, because we are marching down those barriers and we no longer are paying attention to who has access, who can take classes and who can't, because it becomes equitable for all.
And our program is so flexible that if a student would like to pursue an academic honors, sure, we have that. But we also expect students to pursue college credits or an industry certification. So our program is basically catered to the student and what they want. And that's why it's a successful program, because students can self-select the diploma that they want to earn, as well as meeting our expectation at 21st Century Charter High School as well.
This is our last question from Adrian Mabry. Is the Indiana voucher program able to be used at your school and toward college tuition?
Very interesting question, because the short answer is no. We're not a private school. We're a charter school. We're open to the public. We do not charge tuition. We're open to all. We do not select our students. We accept all students. And when I say all students, that means all students. We have I want to say 15% of our population is special ed. So we're open to all students. However, Geo Foundation has just been approved by the state of Indiana to open what's called Geo Focus Academy. And this is a very different model, but it's inclusive of the virtual opportunity as well as the on-campus opportunity. So we're opening brand new this month, Geo Focus Academy, and it is statewide, and we will partner with all 60 universities and colleges in the state of Indiana to help when our students graduate from 8th grade and go into high school and they want to start taking college level courses and they want to do it in person, they're going to be able to do that because we're going to partner with their local university, their local college. So that's, and that will be something that if you need the voucher, you will be able to utilize.
Well, thank you for attending the Expect More, Earn More, Helping Opportunity Youth Complete High School and College session today. Again, thank you to our presenters. Once this session ends, you will be redirected to the session survey. Please complete the session survey, for your answers in the survey will help us with planning for next year. Thanks again, everyone.